Hello everyone, in this video I'll be translating and summarizing the latest Urdu broadcast by Moeed Pirzada to make it accessible for our English-speaking audience. Let's go through the key developments and insights in Moeed Pirzada's words. As you know, 14th August is Pakistan's Independence Day. But in the past 24 hours, Pakistan's Independence Day is being celebrated in a very strange way in its capital city, the Dar-ul-Khilafah. In Islamabad, at Jinnah Sports Stadium, named after the founder of the nation, Quaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah, Pakistan's ruling elite have gathered. They're giving their celebration two names. They call it both Jashan-e-Azadi, meaning celebration of independence, and Marka-e-Haq, or battle for truth. What is Marka-e-Haq? According to Pakistan's elite, it refers to a recent 3 to 4 day war against India in which, apparently, India has suffered a crushing defeat, and Pakistan's independence has been safeguarded once again. Even its water has been saved. On one side, there is this colourful celebration. Military units have paraded, perhaps even a flying display was held. All the elite are gathered. On the other side, just a few hundred kilometres away, in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa's Bajaur agency, the former Fatah region, in the past 24 to 36 hours, a terrifying military operation has begun. Along with crack troops, gunship helicopters are taking part. Officials claim this is a limited operation, attacking only a few locations with helicopters. But these same officials also tell the world that more than 100,000 people have fled, displaced in huge numbers. Meanwhile, on this same Independence Day, an open letter from barrister Hassan Niazi, Imran Khan's nephew, to Pakistan's Chief Justice Yahya Afridi is circulating on Twitter. In it, Hassan Niazi recalls that on 13th August 2023, exactly 2 years ago, he was abducted in the dead of night. For the next 3 to 4 months, his family did not know whether he was alive or dead or where he was. He was never presented before a magistrate or a court and was later sentenced to 10 years in prison by a military court. He's in Kot Lakhpat jail. He asks, where's Pakistan's constitution? Where is the rule of law? Where is democracy? Where are human rights? If Hassan Niazi could be abducted without any new law and never presented before a magistrate, then why, in the past 24 hours, has a new law been passed by the National Assembly? It amends Pakistan's 1997 Anti-Terrorism Act to allow any Pakistani citizen to be detained for 90 days, without investigation, inquiry, or being brought before a magistrate or court. And in practice, these 90 days can easily become 6 months or 9 months, as Hassan Niazi's own case shows. At the same time, Pakistan's Army Chief, General Asim Munir, is attending the Independence Day celebration with his entire team, along with Sharif, Zardari and others. Pakistani journalist and podcaster Najmul Hasan Bajwa recently reported that in Brussels, the Army Chief addressed around 900 Pakistanis in a closed-door meeting where no phones or cameras were allowed, unlike a similar meeting in Tampa, Florida, which had only 120 people. In this meeting, General Asim Munir, without naming Imran Khan, said he will apologize. At first I was lenient, but now I have turned to strictness. What I say, I do. He will apologize. Bajwa believes this referred to Imran Khan. Bajwa also quoted other sources saying a new Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf has been fully formed and will soon launch rallies led by Shah Mahmood Qureshi. This supports my earlier point. When Shah Mahmood Qureshi was pardoned, it was despite him not being present on May 9th at the incident for which he was accused. If absence was enough to clear him, then why not Dr. Yasmin Rashid, Senator Ijaz Chaudhry, Mian Mahmood-ur-Rashid, Umar Sarfraz Chima, Sanam Javed and Aliyah Hamza? Now, I must make an apology. Last week, in the heat of the moment, I mistakenly said PMA, Pakistan Military Academy, instead of OTS, Officers Training School, when speaking about General Asim Munir. Many of you, around 100 people via messages, WhatsApp, emails and calls, corrected me. I knew he had not gone to PMA but to OTS, but it slipped out while speaking. I even joked that PMA's fate was unfortunate not to have trained such a great figure, the most loyal Mohammedan in modern Muslim history, who recently lunched with the Emperor himself in uniform. Since I used the term most loyal Mohammedan, let me explain it, especially on the occasion of 14 August. The term was first used by Sir Syed Ahmad Khan, founder of the Aligarh movement, in Asbab-e-Baghawat-e-Hind, the causes of the Indian revolt, or thereabouts. He used it to assure the British Empire that Muslims were the most loyal to it, and would never think of rebellion. Through the 20th century, British literature used this term, and Winston Churchill especially liked it. Looking back today, 14 August 2025, we can see that the Aligarh movement was essentially a job seekers movement, encouraging Muslims to adopt Western education and manners so they could secure government and military jobs under the British. It was not primarily an intellectual movement. It gave Muslims education and jobs, but also convinced them that their real enemy was not the West, but the Hindu Banya, the merchant caste, and that they needed independence from Hindus. True political process, like what you see with Zohra Bamdani, a Muslim of Indian origin in New York fighting against elitism, is a continuous struggle to secure freedom from hunger, want, insecurity and fear, not just a one-time event. The Muslim League's political process, however, was largely a struggle of the landed elite. After the Battle of Plassey in 1757, the company began an intellectual project, later formalized as Fort William College in 1800, that deliberately engineered the Hindu-Muslim divide. Political power was in the hands of Muslims, and the Diwan, or chief minister, was with them. But the administration, much of the financial management, was in the hands of Hindus. The British quickly realized that while Muslims had one kalima, one Quran, one book, one prophet, and a single sense of identity, Hindus across the length and breadth of India, north, south, east, west, saw religion differently. They were not one, they were different kinds of communities with different languages, different forms and tones of religion. The British then carried out codification of Hindu laws and other measures to awaken in Hindus the notion of being one community, giving them a sense of identity. Alongside that, they instilled the idea that Muslims were outsiders, invaders from Central Asia, who had taken over their culture and civilization. This is the real meaning behind the phrase divide and rule, which people often hear but rarely understand deeply. The first phase of it was this Hindu identity building. The second phase was making Muslims believe that their real enemy was the Hindu, that Hindus would oppress and devour them. The academic outcome of this divide and rule policy was that when partition happened, the very freedom we celebrate today, the Muslim-majority areas of Punjab and Bengal became Pakistan. It is true, no doubt, that in cities like Lahore, on Mall Road and in Anarkali, only 3 or 4 shops were owned by Muslims, while most business was controlled by Hindu bankers and traders. The same was true in Gujranwala, Rawalpindi and elsewhere. When Hindus left, Muslims got the chance to progress economically. But if the political process and educational development had continued, Muslims could have asserted themselves politically without partition. The tragedy, the irony, is that 30 to 35% of Muslims were left behind in India. Muslim political power was cut down in size. Those Muslims became second-class citizens because from day one their loyalty and commitment were doubted. Delhi, once a great centre of Muslim civilization since the 12th century, when the sultans established their rule, was a Muslim city until 1947. That heritage was taken away. Similarly with Lucknow and Awadh. Interestingly, the division of Punjab and Bengal was originally demanded by the Congress, not the Muslim League. The League tried till the end to avoid splitting these provinces. But as a result, at least 1 million people were killed within months, not by armies, but by Hindus and Muslims slaughtering each other. Around 15 million crossed borders in one of history's largest migrations, beginning a cycle of hatred that, well, persists to this day. Many people remain emotionally committed to that hatred on both sides. Even on this channel, some viewers are deeply attached to such hatred, whether of Indian origin or Pakistani origin. One such man, under the pseudonym Mulk Batura, whose real name I don't know, perhaps living in America or somewhere in the West, is a prime example. He's a generous supporter of this channel, watches every program, comments on every video, but believes this channel is part of a Western conspiracy, that I'm somehow promoting an Indian agenda. He hates both Hindus and the West, yet lives in the West, and watches this channel only to prevent it from harming people. His confusion mirrors that of many Pakistanis because political science is a complex subject. It cannot be understood by reading a single book. As we celebrate this so-called freedom, notice the irony. Imran Khan, his supporters, the PTI leadership, and all those Pakistanis who won the February 8, 2024 elections with, well, 70% support are in jail. Only those who strike a deal are released. Meanwhile, generals are returning from lunch meetings in Washington with the Emperor of the time, refreshed and renewed after visiting the Imperial Court and the US Central Command's headquarters. They think this is their moment. In Islamabad, the empire's custodians are celebrating. Gathered elites like Asim Munir, the viceroy, Asif Ali Zardari, Shahbaz Sharif, Ishaq Dar, Asifa Bhutto, the First Lady of Pakistan, and Ayaz Sadiq. While in Bajaur, 100,000 people have been displaced in military operations, with deaths including women and children. In tribal areas, this is not new. Operations have happened before. Today, KP's Chief Minister Ali Amin Gandapur told his cabinet that an operation was necessary because negotiations with the TTP failed. Historically, since 1876, Rawalpindi had become the largest garrison in India within 25 years of 1857 because the British faced no major military challenge elsewhere, only in the northwest. And to this day, the main challenge to empires comes from there. Just a day earlier, I mentioned a meeting in Islamabad between American counterterrorism officials and Pakistani diplomats, announcing cooperation against terrorism, BLA, TTP, ISIS-Khorasan, and now the operation has started. As journalist Zia-ur-Rahman wrote in Dawn on August 7th, every military operation is preceded by failed negotiations and a short-lived peace agreement, after which people flee, just like these 100,000 who voluntarily left, as the Chief Minister put it. Recently, I asked multiple PTI leaders in KP, what does the TTP actually want? The answer, they demand an Islamic system we cannot give. Newspapers also say they don't accept Pakistan's constitution, though no one specifies which sections they reject. But in truth, no one in Pakistan follows the constitution. Not the ruling elite, not the generals, not even the chief justices. If they did, thousands wouldn't be in jail, and journalists wouldn't be forced into exile. The constitution is amended whenever convenient, as in 1997. So using it as an excuse that they don't accept the constitution is meaningless. Political process means finding solutions through constant negotiation, daily, weekly, monthly, not through force alone. True freedom for Pakistanis will come only when they have human rights, rule of law, and opportunities for progress. That will only be possible if Hindu-Muslim hostility in the subcontinent is overcome, and India-Pakistan relations improve. This is extremely difficult. RSS-driven hate on one side, Pakistan's military interests on the other. But maybe the process could begin from America, the United Kingdom, Europe, Canada, Australia, or New Zealand. Over 200 years of hate have been invested in, so it's not easy. But without starting, Pakistanis will never gain their rights or democracy. That wraps up our translation of Moeed Pirzada's video. I hope this English version helped you understand his message better. Please like, share and subscribe to Awami Lens to help our community grow. Don't forget to leave a comment below and let me know what you thought of this effort.